Good afternoon. Welcome to my new YouTube channel. My name is Ben, aka Nations, and this video is about a year and a half ago. I was sectioned for 7 months. I was sectioned for 7 months because I wasn't taking care of myself and I was doing far too many drugs back then, such as crack, heroin, fet, Mandy, abusing Valium quite badly, and I was on Oxycontin for quite a while as well, and that messed me up. When I was withdrawing from Oxycontin, I think it was Oxycontin, I started bombing, I should say, a lot of amphetamines, aka base, or the stuff I had was called pink champagne, which was very strong. One time I bombed about 2 grams, well, within the space of 20 minutes, 15 or 20 minutes, and about an hour later I felt as though I was going to have a heart attack. I was getting very paranoid and my heart was just racing. It was epic. It was faster than it had ever beaten before, and I really thought I was going to die from a heart attack. And every thought was bad, and every time I was thinking bad stuff, I thought, I'm getting closer to my death, which is going to happen tonight, because my heart was racing and I thought my brain was disintegrating at the same time. And this is when I started having psychotic episodes of amphetamines, and I still got sold amphetamines, but I started to cut down after I was sectioned. I did do them whilst I was sectioned, whilst I was sectioned. I was also legging it sometimes and doing some crack behind people's back. Nice rhyme, that one. And it was generally really harsh being sectioned because I spent quite a lot of time in the segregation room. We had 2 rooms designated for people who were too ill to be on the main ward, such as having psychotic episodes all of the time. So I was in the segregation room, the first one, in Moorland View in Barnstaple Hospital, North Devon, and I was basically just given my food at morning, noon and tea time. I was given 3 meals a day, which is perfectly fine by me, but all that was in the room was a stone floor, an inch thick mattress which I had to sleep on, a soft chair, and obviously the other 2 things were a basin with touch button to flush it, because they couldn't have a handle or anything, which you could do damage with it, and a toilet with also a touch button flush on it. So that is all that made up this room, other than the massive door with a humongous lock on it to keep me secure and locked away from humanity. Basically, it seemed as though I was being treated as a child, and I wasn't able to be included into general population of the psychiatric ward. Well, the psychiatric ward that I was on, because I never got to see the other ward, where someone I met in the hospital had to get moved to. So we got together and things happened, and well, she got moved to another ward, and then we spent so much time laughing about it, and it was pretty good time with her, but I haven't seen her for a long time now, and I wish I could meet up with her again, as I'm sure we would have a very good time, and we would probably be back together within a week if I saw her again. That's just what I think anyway, but it's not guaranteed, obviously, it's just my way of thinking. Anyway, basically, when we were sectioned, on a normal day, I would get out of bed at 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning. 6 in the morning is when the kitchen was unlocked, so we could grab some lunch to eat for cereal or toast for breakfast. We would have to make that ourselves, obviously. And lunch was at something like 12 or 12:30, which was made, where it was basically sandwiches with Branston or cheese or ham in the sandwich, and we would have a cup of tea with it if we wanted, or fruit juice if we opted to. We had to plan our meals, I think, and in fact we didn't plan our meals. That was at supported accommodation after the hospital that we planned our meals. We had to eat what we were given in the psychiatric ward, Moorland view in Barnstaple. We had to eat what we were given or go without, basically. So I decided to eat what was given, else I'd go starving. And I got down to 9 stone before I got admitted to hospital. That I was in A&E or the ICU place for a month because I had cold turkey Valium, stopped drinking, and I was taking loads of speed, base, the bomber speed, the base kind of speed can't be sniffed. So I put it in a Rizzler, wrapped the Rizzler up with the base inside it, swallowed the Rizzler with the base inside it using water or fruit juice, orange juice usually. So it was nicer tasting to get rid of that cat piss taste or smell that all amphetamine have. It's nasty. It's a very nasty taste and a horrendous smell. It's horrible. God knows why it stinks of cat's piss, but it does. Anyway, before I got admitted to hospital, I had 11 grand mal seizures behind my bedroom door at the Marlborough Hotel in Ilfracombe. It was formerly a hotel. They just kept its name, but it was a building of multiple occupancy. That's the title of the building I lived in, and it was full of people who had nowhere else to live, really, nowhere else to turn, and they just went to the Marlborough Hotel, asked if there's any rooms going, and usually there would be, so you'd have yourself a room, and housing benefit would be paid out of money from the government, and there was £0 top up, unlike supported accommodation, which I live in now, which has a set amount of money to be paid each week out of my own money, and this is to make it up to a certain amount because housing benefit only pays up to like 350, 370 quid perhaps, so I have to pay about 20 or 30 quid top up a week, I'd imagine, or a month, I don't know. I've never had a letter concerning this because I no longer deal with my benefits because my appointee deals with them, because I didn't have capacity, apparently, to look after my finances because I kept spending all of my money on crack and weed sometimes, and the council got wind of it and I got taken off a lot of my money. I managed to blag 100 quid a week, so 400 quid a month I get out the bank, which ain't too bad. I can live on 100 quid a week quite easily. My food doesn't even come out of that, that's just spending money for baccy and booze. But when I get out of this place near Bude, I will probably be a lot better off, and I won't be drinking because in the new place I'm moving to, you're not allowed to drink in communal areas, only in your bedroom. You're not even allowed to drink outside, which I find a bit harsh, but that's just the way it is. and obviously I'm not allowed to smoke cannabis there because it's illegal primarily, and I'm not even allowed to smoke CBD hemp extract in the new house on Clovelly Road in Bideford, North Devon, and I find this a bit annoying because CBD weed is what relaxes me, and it's how I stay calm under stressful situations. Like with COVID, I never get stressed out about COVID. Unlike the majority of the general public getting stressed out about having to wear a mask everywhere, can't go out, can't see your friends, all the rest of it. I just chill out listening to music and documentaries on YouTube all day. Don't see a problem with it. I'm never bored. I don't have time to be bored, to be honest. I'm always replying to videos on here, YouTube, or on Facebook or Facebook Messenger, chatting to mates, which I spend a lot of time off, and speaking to mates on the phone. A lot of my mates are coming off drugs, or what a mate called Wayne, who's in a lot of pain. He's on morphine now, Oromorph, and he's got a disc in his back, but a nerve is pressing on or something, or the other way around. Disc pressing on a nerve in his lower back, and he has to take morphine for the pain, and it's not enough morphine he's on. He needs to be on a higher dose, I think. He's still in pain with the Oromorph. It's liquid morphine basically, and it helps him a bit, but it doesn't help him totally. Like, I don't think any drug would, even fentanyl or oxycodone hydrochloride. I don't think anything would help his pain completely. When you have a lot of pain like that in your back, it's unbelievably painful. I've had severe back pain before. I was unable to bend over and pick stuff up off the floor. I had to ask people to do it for me. So I had to be very careful not to drop anything when I was outside. So I'd be stuck. If I dropped a coin on the floor, I'd have to leave it there because I can't bend down. I couldn't bend down to pick it up. I can now. My back got better. I was given ibuprofen and paracetamol, and this made my back better. Somehow, within 2 weeks, my back was healed on its own. So I think it was just the way I was sleeping or something that caused the problems in the first place. But it's something that I'll never know the root cause of. I'll never know the root cause of the pain ever in my life. Anyway, back to the hospital in Barnstaple in the psychiatric ward. I met a lot of good friends in hospital, many of whom I have on my Facebook now and keep in contact with to this day in late September 2020. I took my remote control car out yesterday to Davidstow Airfield in quite near Tintagel in Cornwall, between Bude and Tintagel in mid to north Cornwall, and it was going about 60 miles an hour yesterday. It would go 70 miles an hour or more if I fitted the speed pinion gear to it, but this can't be done at the moment because they've used something called red Loctite on the grub screws that hold the pinion gear in place, and this is impossible to get off unless you have a butane torch. You can heat up with a butane torch, and this will melt the Loctite, and it will ease the grub screw out when you turn it with an Allen key. You have to get a good Allen key set first. So the ones that came with it were rubbish, to be honest. It's an Armour Italian 6S, the name of the remote control buggy that I've got. And I have the problem that I can't get the pinion gear off to change it to the 20 tooth one. So it's currently running the 15 to 13 tooth one, which is not as fast as it should be. It should be another 10 mile an hour faster out of that with the 20 tooth pinion gear on it. But I can't change it until I get a butane torch lighter or something and heat up the grub screws to get the red Loctite melted, to take off the pinion gear and replace it for a new pinion gear and get some blue Loctite that can be removed, but it's still strong enough to hold the pinion gear on, and it should be all good then. So this video is going on and on because I'm mumbling on and on. Sorry about that, people. It's what I tend to do most of my life, mumble on, rant on and on and on about anything possible. Basically, in hospital, another thing, they took me off all of my medication that was like good at getting me to sleep or good at relaxing me. So I got out of hospital very on edge, paranoid and extremely anxious because of the idiots at North Devon District Hospital in the Moorland View ward, or the Ocean View ward as it might be known now. Both of them had to merge into one ward due to lack of staff and, more importantly, lack of funding, because the government are twats and don't give enough money to the NHS. Hence, there's only 14 beds in the whole of North Devon for mentally ill, I will say, people to sleep in and spend their time in hospital under section or a voluntary section. I was on a forced section. I couldn't leave because I was under the section under the Mental Health Act of Great Britain or England, and it'd be against the law for me to leave there or escape. I did try and run away before, but someone caught me. Someone was waiting and they just stopped me in my tracks, so I couldn't leg it. Didn't try that again. And I finally got out of hospital 7 months on without any of the medications that I was on before, other than my diazepam was reduced from 30 milligrams to 0 milligrams at once, and this only took about a week or 2 or 3 days maximum. I reckon it was 3 days they got me off 30 milligrams diazepam, which is only about a year and a half too quick. Not to worry, I'll get over it one day. They're absolute idiots at the hospital. They don't have a clue what they're doing. Basically, their staff in Moorland View or Ocean View needs sacking, and the whole place needs evaluating and renewing. So there's the staff's brains. They need renewing or replacement if they would. There's a really idiot guy with a goatee beard in there. He's a total tosspot. He thinks he's so good, so cool and good in this power of position as he is a nurse. I don't think that's very powerful, mate. You're not even a doctor, you're a nurse. And you don't even know how to safely get people off of benzodiazepines. You do even know what the Ashton Manual is for, written by Heather Ashton, who was a professor. I bet you don't have a clue who I'm even on about. She might be dead now, I think, but she wrote a lot of notes and even a book on how to get off of diazepam and other benzodiazepines safely by tapering the dose, not cutting the whole or half of the dose out in one go and doing the same the following flipping day at the same time as getting me off 800 milligrams of pregabalin and a clone at the same time. You got me off 3 physically addictive drugs at the same time, whilst I was an ex-heroin addict and ex-Oxycontin addict. So I had 2 major drug problems, plus crack as well. So 3. I know crack isn't physically addictive, but it's mental torture. Ask anyone who spent $7.5 grand on crack in 10 days what they think of crack, and I bet you they'll say it's slightly habit forming, or maybe that's a touch more, honestly. Probably a few off North Devon District Hospital staff, crack's just a little bit habit forming, just like Valium, habit forming, even though you can die from grand mal seizures, which can occur if you cold turkey diazepam, because I actually did this, and I had 11 grand mal seizures, and this is half an hour or an hour before, sorry, after paramedics turn up. So I was having about 40 fits, grand mal seizures I should say, before the paramedics even arrived. It took 3 phone calls to get an ambulance out. My friend Angela and another friend Fiona at what's it called, Marlborough Hotel in Ilfracombe phoned up for ambulances and they wouldn't come out for whatever reason. And the fire brigade had to be there to break the door down. We went upstairs for a stretcher and I got stretchered out of her. Then I was pushed around hospital in a wheelchair. I didn't know what day it was. I didn't eat. I went down to 9 stone 6. Now I'm at 13 or 14 stone. And it was a nightmare. I nearly died. All because of diazepam and speed. But if I wasn't on speed at the time, it would have been diazepam withdrawal as the cause of death. And I think the hospital or my doctor would have been at he would have been the original problem, the person getting me off the medication in North Devon District Hospital in Barnstaple would have been the culprit for my manslaughter by rushing me off of a physically addictive drug called diazepam, which is a benzodiazepine, which is a minor tranquilizer, but in high doses I'd class it as a major tranquilizer. I used to take a handful, 20 or 30 at once, between 200 and 300 milligrams of diazepam at one time. I actually pictured it. I might have filmed it before, but I can't remember because it does cause amnesia, which is probably the problem. But I had a very bad addiction to diazepam, which they didn't even acknowledge. They rushed me off it in 2 or 3 days. It's just bang out of order. It takes some people 5 years to get clean off benzos. I got off it in 2 fucking days due to negligent staff at a fucking hospital. I'm not very happy about it. I'm going to try and get back on a higher dosage of diazepam so I can actually get some sleep. At the moment I'm having 1 or 2 hours sleep a night, which is not ideal, is it? No, it isn't. So I'll leave this video now. Please give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed watching me get angry at the hospital staff. But I am still the same person. I just get irate at what they did to me. Getting off 800 milligrams of pre-gab, 7.5 mil stopicolone and 30 mil diazepam, all gone. Now I managed to get 10 milligrams of diazepam back, but that's quite a way off for 30 milligrams. 30 milligrams properly relaxes me. 10 milligrams doesn't even affect me, it doesn't touch the sides. Bearing in mind I used to take 20 or 30 blues a day. You can probably imagine what I'm used to. Anyway, I'll end this video now. Please share this video, thumbs up, comment below if you have any questions at all, and please hit that button down on the bottom right saying subscribe. Hit the bell as well if you want more updates from my channel for future videos. Anyway, cheers for now, bye all.